Hi there, this is Mandy from Mandy Makes and Mends. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to make this little project here. It's using my little handy Wilco's jotters that I've been using all week, and it's quite simple to make. We need 2 pieces of chipboard at 3 3/4 by 4 1/2, and we need a further piece at 1 1/2 inches by 4 1/2. With the measurements on this today, you will find them all on my blog at mandymakesandmends.co.uk. They will all be there for you, so there's no need to keep rewinding this. We're going to use the Pop of Pink Designer series paper. To do is we want to get our piece of DSP. Now I'm going to use this is going to be the outside cover of my notebook, so I'm going to turn it round and you can see where we've got our score lines here. Ahead of time, I have on the back of my chipboard pieces, I have put double-sided tape on all sides, as you can see, and a bit down the middle. What we want to do is following this, if you can see here on the black, you'll be able to see 2 score lines here at 3/4. At the intersection of the cross, we are going to take one of our chipboard pieces and just place that down so it's level with the top line and the side line. So once you've got your tape off, we're just going to lay that down so it's right in the corner, lined up at the side there, down that line, and lined up at the top there. We're then going to take our middle piece, we're going to lift up our paper and gently lifting it up, and using our bone folder we are just going to run our paper so it helps it crease a little bit along that line. We'll take our spine piece, which is our 1/2 inch piece, and we are simply going to lay that up so it's on its side. When it's on its side, and we're going to butt it up against the piece that's already laid down. Then we're going to lift our paper up and pull that, and once it's pressed down it will naturally fall and it will leave you a natural gap. And lifting our paper up so it's flush against the side, and we are again with our tape facing towards the paper, put it on its side, butting it up to the side, the middle spine bit, making sure that you're straight, and you're simply going to lift that up and the tape will stick to the paper. It will fall down naturally and it will give you a gap there. So we've got our tape on all 4 sides there. So next we'll just simply lift it up and gently bending it towards us. So we're just forming a crease and helping the paper. We take our scissors and we are going to cut along the corner. So onto our long sides then, we're going to take the tape backing away. Oh, nearly took the tape off there. Make sure it's stuck down, and we are going to bend it up using our bone folder. We're going to move along the sides, and then from the middle we're going to push the paper down. Okay, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Okay. So now we're going to, at the corner here, we've got little bits that's overhang. What we're going to do is we're just going to push that round the corner so that when this folds over, you're not going to get any bit that sticks out, and it just makes for a really neat corner. Okay, and we'll do that on all 4 sides. So you can see that I've just moved it so it's covering the gap on the corner there. So taking our tape backing off, again we're just going to pull that towards us, and going over, we're just going to, and folding it over. We'll do the same on this side, our fold. That looks grand. Okay, so using your bone folder then, what you want to do is you want to go in between the gaps while lifting your cover up. You don't want to press too hard because you don't want to go right through to the other side, and that makes it into your nice little cover, which is lovely. Next, what you're going to need is you're going to need your 1.5 inch piece by your 4 1/4 inch piece. Now I use tape always for the spine piece because that is the one that gets the most pressure on it, opening and closing all the time for good measure. So we'll take our tape backing off there. So once that's off, we're just going to center that top and bottom and put it in the middle as best as you can. So then what we want to do is, again, we want to fold up our sides of our book. This time you're going to find it a little bit more difficult, as it's got more paper that's now pushed into that gap. We're also going to burnish our sides and make sure that's stuck in there, and you're going to do that on both sides, just gently rubbing your bone folder along the gap, lifting it up, and then that gives you your little notebook, which looks quite cute in this size. Our next piece, and this is our 4 1/4 by 3 1/2 piece, and using some tape, I'm just going to put some on the top on all 4 sides, and we'll whack that on. So this bit here, what you're going to do is you're going to line it up with the top edge of the center strip and the bottom edge as best you can, and given the same border at the side, and we're just simply going to push that down. Okay, the next bit we're going to get then is our 2 inch piece by 3 1/2. Make sure you get in the corners because you don't want it popping up. And again, you're going to line it up to the top of where the spine is and marry it down the edge with a even border down the side there. Incidentally, you don't want to have this piece here falling into this gap here, because then it'd be just too much paper that's going into that gap and your paper will end up ripping. So just make sure that this edge here is not in the gap between the spine and the chipboard. The next bit is we'll get our 3 1/2 inch piece by 3 3/4 that was scored at the 1/2 inch point. We'll get a bit of tape and we're going to run that down on itself like so, and we will pull that up and fold it down. Now if you take this in your hand, what I want you to do is actually just keep pulling it towards you on the fold, and slightly, the reason we're doing this is we're slightly stretching the paper. Okay, so, and then we need to get our thinner tape. Now you do need thin tape for the edge here, and that is because the 1/4 inch tape is just too wide for then to be able to get your notebook in. So only on 3 sides and not on the side where we folded over. So we'll remove that tape, and we are simply going to line this bottom edge with this bottom edge here, and also lining up on the side of the paper so it's all even. So I shall do that, and before you stick it down fully, just at these top corners here, just pinch in a little bit so it actually gives you the gape that you can see there. So there's a slight gape Okay, so once we've done that, that's absolutely fine, and we'll take our final piece of paper, which was 2 inches at 3.5 inches, and we're going to use our 3/4 hole punch and eyeballing it in the middle, about halfway, is just clip a little hole, and that will just go in there. I'll use glue for this little bit here, and I'll just stick a little bit down the side here. And this bit here is just a little extra side pocket that you could maybe put your shopping list in, or put a photograph or something in. Again, what I'm doing here is I am pushing it down, and in the corners I'm slightly pinching up. Once that's down and you're quite happy it's not going to move, just burnish, and burnish it all, just to make sure that we get a good stick everywhere. Get our notebook. These are Wilkinson notebooks again, and we are simply going to cut the bottom here on an angle, and we'll slot that inside our slip, and that will fold over like so. Okay, so closing our notebook then, what we're going to use now is some Melon Mambo stitched ribbon. Love this ribbon, love the colour of it. I think it works fantastic with the black. It does. It's got an apt name, that this paper pack Pop of Pink, because it just does. It's fabulous. So then I'm just going to cut a piece off, tie a bow. It's not the best one I've ever done, but I'll fix it in a minute. It was just to get it on there. So we're going to need a piece of Melon Mambo scrap and a piece of Whisper White. Today I am using the layering love stamp set, and I'm going to use this Enjoy the Little Things. This is such a lovely stamp. I have used it a lot on loads of different things. So I'm just going to ink that up with some Memento black ink. Oh, trying not to get it on my hands. And I'm simply going to stamp that down. So once that's stamped down, then we are going to cut that out using our layering ovals framelits, and the ones that I'm going to use is the second largest scallop one and the second largest normal oval one. We're going to use our magnetic plate, a clear plate on top of that. We'll put our Enjoy the Little Things Melon Mambo down, and we'll just do this in one pass. We'll place our dies on top where we'd like them to go, put the clear plate on top, and run that through your big sheet. So I've already done that here. So I'm just going to use some glue on the back of this layer to simply stick this onto the scalloped layer. And then we're going to use dimensionals and just sticking them at the top and the bottom. And then we are simply just going to get our Enjoy the Little Things. Now I don't actually stick this to the ribbon. I'll let the ribbon run freely. So you could do it either way. If you didn't want your ribbon to run freely, then you could just stick it on top. Okay, and we shall stick that down there. And there we have it. There's my little project for today. So I hope you've enjoyed that today, and I do hope that you enjoy making them. If you need any further information, and especially the dimensions, hop on over to my blog at mandymakesandmends.co.uk, where all the measurements will be